match. They are 2 map points behind the other 2 aforementioned undefeated teams. So even just dropping one single game could really hurt their chances of trying to land in the top 3 slot once the end of the season arrives. We're in week 11 overall. We have 5 weeks of play after this. And right out of the gate, we're seeing Montana on the back foot a little bit, but, you know, not uncommon for teams to start off a little slow, kind of see what their opposition has to offer. But this is, once again, a big chase. It is People with the first goal. Wichita State, the 30th seed, strike first.
That's not good news for Montana, and it looks like a communication error here. It looks like it did bounce upwardly, to be fair, and that's what made it so awkward. I think Finn was the one coming out the back post, unable to save it. That's the worst case scenario, a nightmare start for University of Montana.
Well, you don't get to 10-0, I don't care who you're facing, without having some sort of ability to just push that aside and get right back into this thing. Trust their mental is strong, and Montana fans are certainly hope so, as the Grizzlies are driving it back down into the yellow half. People's going to intercept it and get a big clear, totally uncontested, trying to put it off the backboard. Does get deflected right back over into the corner. People's trying to fall back for some boost while the other 2 members push up and create more aggression, see if they can increase this lead to 2. But they lose control at the midfield line. A's going up for it, looking for the double tap. That's not going to happen, but the shot afterwards is good. High Crew ties the game up. Montana right back in.
Really good touch from A's here. It either goes in here or it drops nicely. It's always going to be in a dangerous area. It's going to be difficult for defenders to deal with. Bit of quality from A's, and that's what we expect from Montana here. Quality, right? They're 10-0. They're 10-0 for a reason. They're obviously going to have that quality, and they need to use it more often, right? Either that, they got to tidy up some of that team play.
Ooh, good save from Hebro. This High Crew had another fantastic look. We almost saw that mic drop one more time. Okay, Fed going up. I think just testing the defense a little bit on that one. Montana putting a lot of pressure down, not really able to develop much of anything. The setups for the offense all kind of falling flat. High Crew has to run back and make a good save. Does a good job of getting in front of it. Trying to get one in transition here over to A's. A's puts it home with some distance behind that one. That was a long goal. That one came from midfield.
Sneaks between the 2 Wichita State defenders. Good shot, very accurate. No one's ever going to save that. But I want to credit that touch from High Crew. Just gets it in between the 2 players. Who's going to commit for that one? It's always difficult to know. And then they ended up double committing. Left a lot of space for A's. That's a really good touch from High Crew. Really, really good.
Going up into the corner here. Able to snag that mega boost away from the defense. That could play a part. The longer they stick around, if this defense runs out of boost, then Montana are sure to score again. So it's Wichita State trying to clear it out as quick as they can. And look at, they're falling back. They're running out of resources. High Crew has an empty net and the 3rd goal in the game for University of Montana. Boom, mic drop. I love that goal explosion. I'm loving this gameplay we're seeing so far too.
It's a good break. The first 30 seconds weren't great, and I think just a little spell after that as well. They were really struggling at dealing with some of the long balls Pyro was playing, just bumping it up long, making it difficult for the University of Montana. But now, Montana, they've had more of the ball, they look a little stronger, they're creating chances, they're overloading the Wichita State defense, and they're making it awkward for them as well. They're putting it in between 2 players constantly. More of the same, please, Montana.
Doesn't realize the starvation became a problem that last one. Steals that one away. And not allowing themselves to get split up by the attackers this time around. 29-6 gonna miss one. Gopher takes the shot. High Crew with a nice read. Doesn't take the bait on the first attacker. And now he's driven the ball all the way down. High Crew puts another one on. High Crew has a hat trick. We're just over halfway through game 1.
High Crew's had a really solid game. Really good touch from A's. And again, High Crew has so much space. I think there is now a lot of space for Montana. It's because of that overload, right? They're playing slightly more aggressive. They're making things awkward for Wichita State. And, I mean, it's been okay from Wichita. They've had some good defensive efforts, some good saves, some good clearances. They've even had a bit of the ball as well. But they're starting to look like they're cracking under pressure. They're giving up a lot of space to Montana. And that kind of needs to stop.
Hacker has some space to work with here. Does lose the ball, kicking it past the midfield. He's circling back around just to intercept this aggression and not let anything develop on the attacking side for Wichita State. Wichita State have had a pretty darn rough schedule. Oh, that's gonna be a long distance goal. Okay. I was about to say that, you know, Wichita State perhaps aren't don't belong necessarily at 30th rank, but when your defense falls apart like that, you're making me second guess myself here, Wichita State.
Wichita State, they looked really sharp in that opening 90 seconds or so, right? They were fast, they were putting Montana under pressure, putting them on the back foot. This is different. Now Montana, they're playing more aggressive, they're overloading that Wichita State defense, and realistically, just a faster, sharper Wichita State, and this could be a different game like it was in the first 90 seconds or so.
And coming out with a plan. I mean, that was a very proactive kickoff from University of Montana. They knew they wanted to cheat somebody up. Wichita State did not read it at all. Had two defenders going for boost. And that one worked as expected, just as drawn up. And we were wanting a dominant, clean opening from University of Montana, and they have delivered in spades.
Good. I mean, I'm willing to forgive them for that first 90 seconds. You're feeling out your opponent. It's the start of a series. You know,
Exactly.
You can forgive that, right? The rest of this has been clean. They seem to have found out a plan after those 90 seconds. They've stuck to it. They've been more clinical with their chances. They've had a lot more space than their opponents, and they used it well. This is much better from the Montana we saw last week and the Montana we've seen all season long.
Yeah, this is looking like a team that belongs in the top 5, if not top 3. As they continue to just pile on the goals. This one a beaut off the top. And Okefin there to catch it, get their first goal of the series.
Yeah, and Okefin, you know, the player we just talked to last week was saying, you know, we didn't play well enough against Fairfield. And I think that admittance, it was very important to me. And, you know, I was kind of, I would have been worried if there was no admittance from Okefin last week of, yeah, we didn't play great today. But, you know, they seem to realise some of their mistakes in their previous series, and they seem to be fixed here so far.
That humility is what leads to further growth. You can't just rest on your laurels. You just won a game and you're 10-0. It'd be easy to let your ego get the best of you. And that is not what we heard from Okefin or University of Montana at all. So that's going to lead to further growth, and that mentality will allow them to continue to excel and to continue to get better and can drive them all the way to the top. And we are definitely seeing a top-tier performance, at least so far as Game 1 is concerned. So far, so good here from U of Montana.
And you know what's better about this performance as well? Just bring it back down to basics. They're scoring goals. They every single chance they've had, really, every single bit of space they've had, they've taken advantage of. Much better from Montana. Very, very happy with it. I mean, I liked the good start from Wichita. I would like to see more of it, right? You know, they were playing some good long balls. Montana admittedly were struggling with them. Why not try more of them? I do think that Wichita were lacking sharpness. I don't think they were quite fast enough. I think a lot of 50s they lost. Maybe if they're sharper and faster, they can start to get back into this game.
Now, is that just better anticipation, better reads on the ball? What do you think is the answer there? How do you answer back to something like that?
You know what? It's probably reading the ball and, you know, making sure you're a proactive mindset of, okay, that's going to bounce there. I need to go challenge this here. Or it could just be like a mechanical skill, right? It could be like a mechanical skill difference as well, right? It could be a mix of both of those things. I think that's what it is. I think it could be a lack of playing experience as well that's causing a mix of both of those things. I feel like they just don't look sharp. I think that's the best word. They look like they haven't been playing too much Rocket League. It looks like they're misreading a lot of balls, and especially in the midfield. And again, they're not fast. They're getting beats in most 50-50s in the midfield.
Yeah, Peabro was lucky that one didn't come around the bottom. But hey, Peabro trying to convert an opportunity here, has a chance. Oh, and will get it in. I thought A's had that save for sure. Let's take another look. Oh, 25 Cent beat him to it. 25 Cent beat him to it. I thought A's got the touch on that either way. Hey, it's another early 1-0 lead for Wichita, but hey, we've seen this song and dance before.
Yeah, let's see what they could do with this 1-0 lead this time around. Looks like they're messing around a bit in the midfield now. That's a lot of space for Montana. Oh, I don't quite like that. That was a really poor piece of play there for Wichita.
Montana kind of slow to capitalize on it. As a result, they're chasing back. They're trying to chase 25 Cent down. Nobody can get there. And just blink and you miss it. 2-0 to Wichita State in game number 2.
Oh, hard to even identify a problem there from Montana, right? It just seems like everything went wrong. They had a bunch of space. It looked like they had a good opportunity to get forward, potentially create a chance, maybe a goal. And suddenly it's in their own net. Not great. Not great from Montana there. Hopefully they can show the signs of life we saw in that game 1. They were 8-1 winners in that first game.
Well, they've cut the lead in half as that one goes in from midfield. And this is just a good play off the wall here. So it's some mechanical prowess and just a good read. Defense kind of falling apart in this one a little bit, it seems. Either way, the lead's cut in half and lots of time on the clock.
I wonder if Wichita are going to have some sort of way of trying to defend this lead. Are they going to try and keep a lot of their players back? Are they're going to try and hunt for another one then maybe sit back? I'm curious to what is going on inside of Wichita's mind right now, because realistically right now they need wins on the board.
Yeah, I don't think they need to be sitting back, especially if you've already drawn blood like this. Keep the pressure on and try to put Montana in an uncomfortable position. Look at that pass.
There we go.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Wichita State coming alive. They hurt us, Ocean. It was all,
yeah,
that was not the fantastic play coming out of Gopher and 25 Cent. No. This is thick, ripe with sarcasm, by the way, Fred's. A gorgeous goal and a well-deserved 3-1 lead.
You know what I really like about that goal? It's kind of reminiscent of what Montana was doing in that first game, the first game of this series, right? Where they were putting it in between two players. That's in between all 3 members of Montana. Who's going to commit for that one? I mean, anyone's guess, really, and no one really committed for it. 25 Cent got that lovely first goal. Montana, this is the inconsistencies we were talking about. This is what we were worried about with Montana. When we talk about them as a top-tier team, based on their record, these are the inconsistencies they show. They were great in game 1, but this game 2 is left a lot to be desired.
And still, they're just fighting to get out of their own half. It's a weak touch from High Crew. Pass all the way across over to Mr. Gopher, who sends it all the way back down. Look, Okie Finn is way deep on the other side of the pitch. Fortunately, they managed to make that work. The save almost served off, but a fantastic save indeed coming out of Mr. Gopher, who's now going up. A little double commit from Wichita State. Pedro is there for the touch. Puts the shot on, but doesn't have a whole lot of power behind it, and Okie's able to send that one back into the corner. 25 Cent right there to create it. Bounces it off. Nobody reads that ball properly, and it just falls with a double bounce into the Maroon half. He's looking for a shot. Mr. Gopher. Perfect position.
Yeah, this is getting now awkward for Montana here in this game too. If they're not careful, this could be a level series, 1-1 here, and that's when it gets awkward for them. Oh, that's a good shot. 25 Cent doesn't quite get there. That's exactly what Montana needed. 2 minutes left in this game. They've got to get back into it. They've got to get the momentum back in this series.
Oh, that little move off the wall. That was ridiculous. And that's the power of this squad. When things kind of start to fall apart, it takes any one player is capable of stepping up and making the plays necessary to keep the morale up and keep your team in the game. And that is University of Montana right now. Hey,
there we go.
Oh, and there it is within 10 seconds. Suddenly, this went from a 1-3 deficit to a stalemate. We are tied at 3-3.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good shot from Ace. Again, lots of space there for Ace. Uses it to the best of their ability. Good goal. More of this again. I mean, just have to point out it's 33, and no Montana's got two goals here, right? But again, this is what, I think, number 3rd place team, right now in Montana against 30th. There's a 27-team place gap here, and this isn't really sentimental of that so far in this game 2 of this series.
Whoa, that's a little bit further to the right, and that would have been a Wichita State lead, but alas, fate was not on Wichita's side right now. Shockers try to hang on the defense. 75 seconds remaining, and they've given up 2 unanswered goals to Montana. Pedro comes in with a very important touch, but doesn't get a whole lot of it. Mr. Gopher is right there. I guess the air ball was indeed the play. But High Crew sends one long range, looking for another in transition. has served Montana well this game. Not going to have any love that time. Pibro carrying it down. Nice individual effort. 25 Cent. Can't quite put it home. A little off the mark. Another shot comes in. This one from Mr. Gopher. Nothing finding its way inside the box. And Wichita State has to fall back. 25 Cent doesn't pays the price.
So that's a really good touch. That's putting a lot of players under pressure from Montana. It's back in. There's a demo there, but it didn't really come to anything.
Yeah, people are doing their darndest to give Wichita State a one goal. And there it is! It's Pibro with a huge touch that bounces perfectly off of that near post. And 25 Cent comes in with a great read, flicks it right off the back right-hand tire. 25 seconds remaining. Wichita State looking to take a game off of Montana.
Wow, wow, wow. This is a pivotal moment in Montana's season. They can't be dropping games to teams at the bottom of the table. They need to be more consistent. They need to prove they're a top-tier team, and they might have just done that with that equalizer. They were behind just 7 seconds ago.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that pass. The ball doesn't touch the ground. Crew is able to make the adjustment necessary as soon as that ball starts heading their direction. Just that slick little backflip. Put that one home. Even the fact that we're headed to OT, Ocean, that to me, that is unexpected from this matchup we're seeing today. 9 seconds remaining, and that was almost, we were almost denied that overtime period. Defense hangs on for Wichita State. Might even have an opportunity for a 0-second goal here. No, ball will fall. OT for game 2.
I mean, who would have thought we'd be in this situation in this game? We were 8-1 to the advantage of Montana in the first game of this series. Game 2, we're 4-4 in overtime. Wichita have the lead many a time in game 2 of this series. You could say, you know, Montana, and I would say Montana have not been really up to what should be their high standard here in game 2. But what I want to say about Wichita is they have been faster, they have been sharper, they have grown into this game.
All right, that's what this competition's all about. You're playing people that are a bit above your weight class. Can you step up? Can you grow and meet them? And this experience already paying dividends for Wichita State. I have a feeling they're going to leave this game a better squad than they walked into it with. This series, should I say. Oh, A's with a perfect opportunity. Oh, puts it off the post. A rare miss from this player, and it goes back into the midfield. Crew ensures that Montana still have possession. Going up into the skies with it. Goes over the top of 25 Cent. Makes a great read and just stays on the ground. Sends that ball right back out. Now trying to chase it down and everything to work with. But Mr. Gopher puts it off the backboard. Montana having to respond and having to keep this in check. They haven't gotten it out of the zone just yet. Mr. Gopher might be able to get it here. He beats him to the ball.
Oh, they're now under pressure, Montana. They've got to get it out of their hand, and they've got to win one of these midfield battles. Otherwise, you'd say this overtime is most likely going to head over to Wichita State.
They will finally get it out of there after about a minute. When looking to do something with it, I thought Wichita State was just going to get right back in control. A decent touch. Not a whole lot of follow-up to it. Okay, A's is going to come in. Slowly but surely, Montana making their way into the yellow half. Crew has a man to the right. 25 Cent pushes off the wall. Dangerous bounce. Sit wide. Wichita State breathing a sigh of relief for the moment. Pibro not giving him any chance. Pibro! Oh, that was it. That was so darn close. 25 Cent with the look. Goes off the post. And Wichita State are now just in awe of how is this game still going. 2 golden opportunities, 2 missed shots. 25 Cent is able to keep some pressure on. 25 Cent does it with the squeeze. 25 Cent coming up huge in game 2.
It's a good touch for 25 Cent. It's in between 2 Montana players. Again, makes the most of it, gets onto their own pass. 5-4. This is a tied series. And we've already talked about the importance of this series for Montana. They need to prove that they are in the upper echelons of EGF, the Electronic Gaming Federation. I don't know why I struggle with that word. Right, but, you know, this is an important day for them as well. We're going to see UConn versus Marquette later. We're going to see we've already seen UTA beat RIT 3-0, right? Where does this leave Montana? We have Siena, Delaware later on as well. And where are Montana in this pecking order?
Questions that I'm not sure we're going to get answers to today, but just the fact that Wichita State is able to take a game off of them speaks volumes. And these are the individual games. I mean, you said it early in the broadcast. They cannot afford to be giving up these games to teams that are this far down in the bracket. Montana now slipping yet another game behind UTA. We'll have to rate the results of Marquette and see what happens with that series a little bit later on in our broadcast. But if I'm Montana right now, I'm mad, and like that should not have happened. Wichita State doing a great job of punching above their weight class. Don't get me wrong, but that goes against everything that we've been taught, Ocean.
But it is also worrying, right? They've been really struggling with these long balls from Montana, from Wichita, sorry. Montana have really not been able to deal with those. There's been situations where the balls went in between two players and their communication structure doesn't seem quite right. And they won the first game 8-1. There is clearly a gap in quality. Why are we not seeing the results?
Well, and oh my goodness, no way, no way! Mistakes on Wichita's side go unpunished on the defense. Mistakes from Montana's defense result in a Wichita goal. Oh my goodness. And yet Wichita gets the lead again. Don't tell me they can actually go up in the series. That's okay, I can't call things too early, but that's ridiculous. I don't believe what I'm seeing. And now another golden opportunity here yet again. Two players from Montana have to push over to keep Hero in check and make sure that they don't fall further into the hole.
This is not good for Montana. That's 3 games in this series that Montana have conceded within the first minute to Wichita State. And you have to say, Wichita are getting into this series at 8-1 in the first game of the series. They should not be anywhere near this series. This series should have been killed in game 2. Instead, we're level series, level in game 3, OT thin, a bit of quality. They need more of that, Montana.
Well, and we've seen the same start all 3 times. Definitely getting a bit of deja vu here, but very different results in games 1 and games 2. Hebrew gets the ball stolen away. 25 Cent keeps it in the zone. Not a whole lot of pressure coming through just yet. 25 Cent does eventually come up and challenge, but loses the ball. And back on my defense goes Wichita State. Hykru has an opportunity. Hykru able to take advantage of that opportunity and increase that lead to 2. And Montana looking somewhat back in form after that beautiful play. Nice patience from Okie Finn to get the dead-on pass over to Hykru and increase this lead.
Good passing play.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good passing play, right? 2 players, you know, I think all of them, right? All players on Montana. I mean, look at that from Okie Finn. They've got tremendous quality. They've got ability to make tremendous plays. They're 10-0 for a reason. They are a good team. Why do we not say this all the time? Why do we not see the game 1 performance? Why is that game 2 there? Why is the performance against Fairfield, which was even quoted by Okie Finn to be not good enough? You know,
and that one was a 3-0 victory. They at least won that one 3-0. And if dropping a game here, my goodness. Packer is going to increase this lead yet again, and this is a very streaky team. Like that's just so far in this series. This is ridiculously streaky. I feel like Wichita State are making mistakes that they weren't making in game 2 though. They've given up the last 2 goals. Don't feel like the 3rd goal. I mean, that was a bit unlucky. They reacted very well off the kickoff, but that 4th goal feels kind of given away.
It looked like they've kind of, you know, went off the gas pedal, right? Wichita, they got equal this series, right? And they've kind of stepped it down a bit. They looked a little bit too comfortable. And to be fair, right, Montana have punished that, right? You know, when Montana have had space, they've had chances, they've been scoring goals, evidenced by the first game, 8-1. They've got the quality. They can score goals. Opportunity here, Hiker just can't quite get in there. But something tells me in this game 3, and this series isn't over yet. And if you told me that after game 1, I would have called you mad, because this series should have been killed. 8-1 in the first game.
I'm inclined to believe you, though. I'm right there with you. Like I'm nowhere near confident that game 3 is in the books, despite the 4-1 lead. 2:15 on the clock. A demo there is going to buy a little bit of space, and Montana trying to make use of it. P-Bro with a great challenge is going to work it all the way down despite being starved of boost. Does enough work to keep it the zone, and 25 Cent gets a touch on it. That shot goes high, but P-Bro's able to put it back in the middle. Looking for a little two-tap, work it past the defense, but near post is firmly guarded. Wichita State walk away with nothing on that one. Circling back onto the defense, P-Bro comes up with a big save. High Crew pushing it back down. A goalie here would do Montana very well. It would do a lot to ensure my confidence that they are going to walk away with this game number 3.
It's an important midfield battle here for High Crew. Good shot. 1 minute 30 on the clock. 90 seconds here. It's looking unlikely for Wichita, but with how inconsistent Montana have been, they've kind of been like Jekyll and Hyde, mixed identity here, right? It's been weird. It's been weird to watch, and you still get a sense of insecurity when watching this roster.
Oh no, that could be a detrimental mistake. Yeah, that one's gonna do it. The 5-1 lead. High Crew putting it home, and this is starting to feel a lot more. I'm feeling a lot more reassured on a Montana victory at this point after the last minute of play. Another just mistake from Wichita State. Looked like may have double tapped it when trying to get in the air and did a flip instead. They got a little anxious on the button. And that one does get punished. 63 seconds left, and Montana firmly on top.
Yeah, Game 3 is pretty much written here. Montana will take the lead in this series 2-1. They look better again here, right? You know, they've had more space, they've created more chances, they've scored more goals, just like they did in Game 1. So why, again, I just have to ask why, and how is that Game 2 happening? I mean, Wichita, I think Game 2 were better, they were sharper, they were faster, they were actually doing really well at annoying and making the defensive plays for Montana awkward with those long passes. Why have those gone away in this game? Have Montana potentially made an adjustment to those? I haven't noticed one in particular, but what I have noticed is more goals from Montana. Oh, well, never mind.
That was almost perfect. That was almost perfect. Denied. That shot bounced off.
That was gonna go on my casting reel. It's just been ruined.
Well, Montana adding to their highlight.
There we go.
Here, yep.
Couldn't have done that a couple seconds earlier, man.
No, just to spite you. But indeed, they do walk away with Game 3. And, you know, we're talking about why. Why does Montana look like they have these kind of two different identities? And I think it's just keeping it clean and not making the same mistakes. Not making the mistakes that we saw that they're getting punished for in game number 2. There were opportunities for Wichita State to put up another goal or two in this series. Now, I don't know if there were 5 opportunities. But there were some mistakes from Montana that weren't capitalized by the other side. Now, the first one was. But I think against a better team, Montana are going to realize those mistakes more and more. They're going to become more and more prevalent, and they can't be doing that.
Well, one thing that's really apparent, though, right? You know, with the amount of goals Montana are scoring this series, this is better than last week. That's an improvement. They're taking more chances. I want to kind of highlight one thing from them. It's very clear this Montana roster, by the record, by the stats, by how they're playing today, it has a lot of quality. A lot of very talented players, a lot of motivated players, based on how they speak, how they interact with their casters, how they react after a win, how they prepare for games, how they react after a more unsettling game. You know, this is a good, strong, quality team. Montana have that. They have good potential, right? No one's ever going to take that away from them. But the question we are asking today, especially since there's so many other teams playing at the top of the table today, is are they a top team in EGF? And that question, I think, today is still going to be unanswered, even if they take a 3-1 victory in this series.
And it may sound like we're being harsh on the Grizzlies, but I think it's because we do recognize the immense level of talent available to them that they have on their squad, and our expectations are extremely high. And they're currently ranked number 3, currently undefeated. So that's why we may seem a little critical at times on this team, because we do see just how extraordinary these 3 players can be, and why sometimes it doesn't seem to all come together like it should. But
Team
And
right
this
now.
and this opening minute has been kind of back and forth. Nothing really solid from either side. Nothing super clean from either side. Decent look there, but 25 Cent is able to get a handle on it. Another good shot. This time, Pibro keeping the ball out of the net and trying to go on the attack. But I will say, Wichita State, their attack has been stifled considerably. A decent adjustment there from Montana. Only allowed 4 shots in the last game and haven't allowed maybe 1 or 2 by my eye test here in the opening minute 40 of Game 4.
Defensively, they haven't really been stifled by those long balls of Wichita State. One player I want to point out is I think Pibro has been really good this series. Really stepped up today and kind of played to Montana's level.
I was thinking the same thing. Pibro, I'm not sure how to... We don't get pronunciation, so we just do the best we can here, friends. Forgive us if we don't always get it right, but we're going to stick with Pibro, and Pibro has certainly looked really good. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Look sharp today. Look very sharp. Oh, that's open for Mr. Gopher. Oh. You know, at least that didn't lead to a goal, right? Still 0-0. Right, you know, that mistake doesn't lead to anything, but it's a warning sign and it is a concern for Wichita State.
2:30, still nothing on the scoreboard. Packer puts that far to the right, despite 2 defenders were past that right-hand far post. Nobody was on the left-hand side, and still the ball ends up way on that side. Even if they had made it on target, the defenders would be able to get to it. Okie Finn is going to be able to intercept this, send it all the way back down. Nice secondary touch. This is going to be an opportunity. High Crew goes right over it. Shot from A's. Denied. Mr. Gopher right there, protecting that near post with their life, and is able to at least get a good touch on it, but no, I say good touch. I was wrong. Sorely mistaken. That was a terrible touch. Going right to Okie Finn, who slams it home.
Oh, good finish as well. That's a really good finish. Right in the top line. No one's going to be able to say that. And, you know, I just want to point out that this has been a good game. The stakes are high in this game 4, right? Whether Wichita is a ranked 30 team or a ranked 6 team, right? This is a high stakes game 4, right? If you look at just this individual series as a whole, it's been a tight series. Both teams have made mistakes. Both teams have made good plays. Both teams have been involved, right? High stakes there, and Okie Finn comes up clutch. Really important goal to get the opener here in game 4.
I do want to correct myself on that last goal. It was good play from Eyes to get in there and disrupt Mr. Gopher. So not a terrible touch from Mr. Gopher, at least not their fault. So I want to go ahead and redact myself on that one. Oh, yeah, that was. That shit goes off the post. Okie Finn driving it back down. I thought it might have been a chance for something in transition, but Wichita stayed a little too slow to get on it. Maybe didn't have the resources. A's trying to center. Mr. Gopher says no. Push it back down that far side. High Crew chasing down Mr. Gopher in tow. Mr. Gopher's going to get the touch. Try to push it towards the net. The bounces have not been working. Trying to get the rebound passes and the rebound shots have not been working for Wichita State. They have to find another way to try to open up this defense if they want to tie this thing up here in Game 4. Otherwise, Montana take the series.
45 seconds left for Wichita to make their mark on EGF. Relatively poor season for them so far, but they can make an impact. 30 seconds left on the clock. Can they come back into this game 4? High Crew might have something else to say. Not quite going in.
Ooh! Wow! Mr. Gopher with the great read, able to protect against that second attacker. Now looking to go on the offense in their own right. It's Pibro coming through. He's going to take that ball into the corner. Wichita State backing off. You got 10 seconds left. You need to win this. Now is not the time to back off. Now is not the time for being conservative. Get aggressive. 1 second left. The shot goes far left. Wichita State resigned to their fate and the loss to Montana, not without drawing some blood and taking a game off of them. In the end, though, Montana maintained their perfect record at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you could say is job done at the office. We got the win, you know? We maintained our perfect record. I guess that's the positives they could take. But realistically, we expect a higher performance from Montana. Wichita, I think, did well. They fought hard, especially in game 2. They looked really good in game 2. They were sharp. They were fast. They were meeting a lot of 50-50s, particularly that they weren't getting in game 1. It's just a weird series to commentate on. Wichita playing up a level, Montana playing down a level. Could just be, they're playing into the series as well. Lots of different factors could have played into the series.
I will say that was 10 and 12 shots respectively for Wichita State in games 1 and 2. Only 4 and 2 shots in games 3 and 4. So Montana did make some good adjustments on the defensive side of things and not allow Wichita to play their game. So fantastic read there. That is something we expect from a top tier team, and they were able to execute in that regard. The rest still up in the air. Anxious to hear what they have to say about it. We're gonna get Haiku and get the word from the horse's mouth directly when we come back. We're gonna see what they have to say. We'll see you back here with more EGF in our interview in a moment.